Every week I get asked dozens of questions about communication. Things like how can I stop rambling when I speak? How do I stop my mind from freezing when I speak? And how can I sound more confident when I speak? And the truth is almost everyone struggles with communication in some way or another. But most of the struggles people face come back to just a few key patterns. So that's why in this video I'm going to answer the top 5 most common questions, the ones that I hear over and over again. And by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why these struggles appear, you'll also have the tools to actually fix them. But quick, if this kind of content resonates with you, if you feel like these tools that I share with you actually help you on your communicational journey, you should definitely hit subscribe and watch until the end where I will share something very, very exciting to you. Now, number 1, by far, by miles, it's not even close, is rambling. People ask, how can I stop myself from rambling, from talking in circles or going on too long? Now, when you ramble, your message gets lost. The longer it takes for you to actually get your point across, the less impact you have. And the more people start to doubt your confidence, your knowledge about the matter. Think about the last time someone asked you, so what do you do? If it took you 2 minutes of backstory, of side notes, of unnecessary extra details, I promise you, by the end, the listener probably wasn't any clearer than at the start. Now, rambling usually happens for 2 reasons. Number 1 is you don't want to leave out anything important, so you completely overshare. This, yes, comes from a good place. You want to make sure the people listening to you gets the full picture. But the problem with this is that when you try to include everything, your main point gets buried in unnecessary detail. It's like dumping an entire toolbox on the table when someone just asked for a hammer. You overwhelm them instead of actually equipping them with what they asked for. And the second one is you start speaking before you've actually decided on what your main point is. And this is a sneaky one. You open your mouth while your brain is still processing what you want to say, and so you're kind of talking around it. You're thinking out loud, circling around the idea, hoping you'll stumble into it as you go along. The issue is that the listener has no idea where you're going, so they get lost before you ever come to your point. The fix is clarity first. I like to use something called the 1-sentence rule. Ask yourself, if I could answer this question in 1 sentence, what would I say? The 1 sentence is your headline. Lead with that. Then, if they ask, you can share more. And that way, you don't just sound more confident when you speak. You actually become easier to listen to, and therefore easier to remember and more impactful in every conversation. Now, number 2 is a difficult one. It's blanking out mid-sentence. People ask, what do I do when my mind goes blank? When I freeze, when I'm speaking? Now, blanking feels like the ultimate failure. You're in the middle of making a point and suddenly silence. Your brain just completely shuts down. And not only do you lose your words, but your confidence takes a massive hit too. And the worst part, the person you're actually talking to might assume you're unprepared, that you don't know what you're talking about, even if you actually know your stuff. Think about the last time you froze in a meeting, in an interview, or just even in a casual conversation. You had something valuable to say, but the words just disappeared out of thin air. After that, it is very difficult to not spiral into thinking, why did I mess up? But blanking usually happens for 3 reasons. Now, the first one is pressure overload. I think it's the most common one, maybe the third one, but this is extremely common. The higher the stakes, the louder your inner critic gets. Am I making sense? Do I sound smart? Am I credible enough to talk about this? Are all things that you ask yourself. And that mental noise takes up the brain power you actually need to form your words when you want to speak. And therefore your mind blanks. And the second one is weak memory hooks. If you're relying on memorizing exact lines instead of actually knowing the core idea of your message, one missing word can make the whole thought collapse. It's like pulling the wrong card out of a house of cards. The whole structure just falls apart. Like that. And the third one is fear of judgment. This is incredibly common as well. Now, when you're worried about how people see you, your brain prioritizes protection over expression. It's Scanning for danger instead of actually focusing on your message, which is why blanking happens most often in high-stake situations. And the fix for this is structure, not script. We use scripts to help memorize what we want to say when we step on stage. But when you're actually trying to convey your message in a conversation with a smaller group of people, I want you to, instead of trying to memorize everything word for word, anchor yourself to 2 or 3 keywords per idea. That way, even if you lose a word, you know the path you're on. And if you do go blank, I want you to pause, smile, take a breath, pick up from your last clear point. And the pause always feels longer to you than it does for everyone else, but handled well, it actually makes you seem and look so much more calm and confident and sure of what you want to say. So it actually will help you convey your message in a better way. Number 3 is low confidence. People ask, how do I stop sounding unsure of myself when I speak? How do I sound more confident when I speak? Now, confidence is contagious. If you don't sound confident in what you're saying, other people won't feel confident in listening to you. And therefore, they won't follow you and they won't buy from you. Think about it. Would you ever get on a plane if the pilot got on the intercom and said, I think we'll be taking off soon. Hopefully the engines are okay. Probably not, right? Same with this type of communication. Uncertainty makes people doubt you. Now, low confidence usually shows up in 3 ways. We have your voice, we have your body language, and we have your word choice. Now, your voice is speaking too softly, trailing off at the end of sentences, or filling every gap with filler words like These signals tell people you don't fully believe in what you're saying. And the second one is your body language. So slouched posture, avoiding eye contact. I usually scan around the room, but completely avoiding eye contact makes you seem very unsure. And fidgeting. So fidgeting with your nails, anything. These give the impression you'd rather disappear than actually be heard. That you'd rather disappear than be in that conversation at this very moment. And the third one is your choice of words. Now, phrases like I guess, kind of, maybe, or what I'm trying to say is instantly weaken your message. They're like disclaimers that strip away your authority instantly. And the fix is small, physical adjustments first. So sit or stand tall, breathe deeply so your voice carries your authority. And end your sentences on a downward intonation, like a period, not a question mark. Then swap out weak language with strong, clear words. And over time, these little physical signals start feeding back into your mind. And confidence stops being something you fake. It becomes something you feel. Number 4 is awkward silences. People ask, what do I do when the conversation just dies? When silence hits and you panic, you either rush to fill with nervous chatter or you shut down and hope the other person saves you. Neither leaves a great impression. But the truth is, silence itself isn't the enemy. It's how you handle it. Great communicators use silence as a tool, so not a trap. They use it as a tool, and that's what I want you to do as well. Don't see it as the enemy, because you are the one making it worse. Awkward silences usually happens for 2 reasons. And the first one is, I think, pretty obvious. You run out of material. If you only rely on surface level small talk, weather, traffic, housework, it's no wonder conversation just dry up fast. These questions have a very short shelf life. And the second one is you treat silence as failure. When a pause happens, you immediately feel like you've done something wrong. That self-judgment makes you freeze, which makes the silence even heavier. And the fix for this is preparation plus reframing. So come in with a few go-to questions that open doors instead of actually closing them. For example, what's something you are excited about right now? Or what's been the highlight of your week? These invite longer, more meaningful answers. And when silence does actually happen, reframe it. Instead of panicking, treat it like a reset button. Smile, breathe, and pick up the thread. Silence is only awkward if you make it awkward. It's like the person who always says, when a conversation dies out, they always say, well, this became awkward. No, you just made it awkward by saying that. So don't treat it that way. Treat it as a reset button to maybe start over the conversation or whatever. Never say it got awkward, at least. And number 5 is not being remembered. Now, people ask, why do I always walk away from conversations that feel like I didn't leave an impression? If people don't remember you, they don't follow you, they don't refer you, and they don't think of you when an opportunity actually comes up. And invisibility is a bigger problem than making a bad impression, I believe. Invisibility is a bigger problem than making a bad impression. Because if people don't remember you, you will never get the chance to improve on the impression you made. But if you make a bad first impression, you can always improve upon that. Now, to keep the same structure as the rest of the video, I'm going to give you the 3 most common reasons you are not remembered when you speak. Now, the first one is generic answers. If you describe yourself with labels anyone could use, it's like using very common buzzwords in your resume, like I'm ambitious. Okay, no one cares. I'm in marketing, I'm in sales. You blend into the crowd, nothing sticks. And number 2 is low energy. If your tone, your body language, and your facial expressions all say I'd rather not be here, people won't remember you. Because you didn't give them anything worth actually remembering. And the third one is no clear takeaway. I think you kind of see the point of this one right now, because it kind of goes into everything else that I've already answered, all the other questions. So I think that if you improve upon all the other questions, all the answers that I've given you, you will become more memorable. That's kind of the key takeaway from this, but we'll still go through it. So number 3, no clear takeaway. If your message is scattered or forgettable, people won't know how to talk about you afterwards. They can't repeat what they can't recall. And this is sort of the same thing as rambling. If you always dilute your message with a bunch of side notes, there's nothing for people to actually repeat because they have nothing to recall upon. And the fix is memorability through clarity and color. Just what I've been going through with all the other 4 questions above this one. Instead of plain labels, frame your answers in a way that highlights the value you bring. Don't just say I'm a designer. Say I design websites that make small companies, small businesses look like big brands. That sticks. If someone says that, I'm curious. I want to know more now. Add a touch of energy, a smile, a spark in your tone. People remember how you made them feel even more than what you actually said. And end with something repeatable. One line that sums you up clearly. This way, when they walk away, they're not saying, I met someone in marketing. They're saying, I met the person who helped businesses tell their story clearly. And that's the difference between being forgettable and being unforgettable. So that's it, really. Those are the 5 most common questions that I get asked all the time. To go over them again, we have the first one, how do I stop rambling? The second one was, what do I do when my mind goes blank? The third one was, how do I sound more confident? The fourth one was, how do I deal with awkward silences? And the 5th one was, how do I make people actually remember what I say? Each of these has a clear solution, and when you start practicing, conversation becomes easier, smoother, and more impactful, and you become more memorable. If you want to dive deeper and build these skills for yourself, you can book a call with me and we will see if you qualify to join my community. That's right, I'm building a community with a full course on how to improve your communication skills. And make sure you subscribe. I post tools like this every single week to help you communicate with clarity, confidence, and real presence. See you in the next video. Bye bye.